Hello.
What's up?
Kind of changed a lot of things. How you been?
You said it changes a lot of things. What you mean?
No, I meant this application changed a lot.
Oh, what they do?
Like everybody's on Zoom now, and so like there was a lot of hacks in the system.
Yeah.
Because like Zoom wasn't prepared for all this popularity, so yeah, so they got that fast. So it's like a lot of security. I have to like admit you, like I have to accept you.
Yeah.
Thing, and so yeah. Um, I was gonna invite John. Well, I invited John, but I was like I want to talk a lot about like NBA stuff off my chest, and I was like, you can be in the background. And John was like, no. I was like, all right, but oh well. It's Sci-Fi podcast episode 58. I always forget. What was that? 58. So yeah, shout out everybody listening on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. All right, let's get with it. MJ documentary. I've only watched a little bit of it, like half of the first two episodes, bits and parts. But I have it like it was something crazy. But you go ahead. Do you have anything about it?
I mean, it was just like, I guess the scene that had me dying the most was they were overseas playing some international team, and the guy walks up to Michael Jordan. He's like, "Can I have your armband?" As he's like ripping it off of Michael Jordan's arm. I was like, but it was just crazy how like popular that team was in the '90s. Like, I don't know if we'll ever see a team as popular. And since I was one whenever he won a championship, his fifth, but it was crazy to me to see the Bulls management basically force them into a breakup instead of letting another team like beat them and defeat them and ending their dynasty. Like Krause was like, I don't care if Michael Jackson, Phil Krause, Krause was like, I don't care if Phil Jackson goes 82-0. Like this team is breaking up. And why would Scottie Pippen sign a 7-year, $18 million extension?
All right, that's where I am. Yeah, you led me to my point. That is absurd of a contract. That is, I knew he was underpaid and like undervalued a little bit, but that underpaid, that is, and that got me thinking so much. All right, I look at things too much in depth. So 7-year, 18 million. He was the 125th most paid player in the league.
He was the sixth most paid player on that roster.
A team.
On that roster. He was the sixth man in salary on the team.
And just to like put that in perspective, like, and I hate to bring this up, but like I have to. It's such a new nugget in this argument. The whole LeBron MJ thing. This I've always kind of thought like, MJ and Scottie are like LeBron. If LeBron and Wade were in their prime together from like 06 to 2013, but add in that if Dwayne Wade was paid not a max contract, he was paid like a sixth man.
Yes. Or like
this is why the team was stacked. This is why they were able to get Dennis Rodman, the Steve Kerrs, the Paxsons. Like, this is why this team was so good. And this is why the whole LeBron MJ thing is so simple to me, because I just but yeah, it was just crazy.
Also, like LeBron got Tristan Thompson at 182 million.
Yes.
J.R. Smith got almost like 100 million. Like LeBron got his people paid because he elevated their game, he elevated their worth.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like stats that I went back and looked during their 6 finals runs, the only thing that Michael Jordan did better than Scottie in was points.
Yep.
Scottie was better in assists, rebounds, steals. Like he was everything to them. He was their like it was crazy. or even like Scottie's worth when he left. Like he was 2 minutes away from going to another finals with the Blazers. Like he was always relevant.
Mm-hmm. That's
But he
what I've been
explains
saying.
he explains in that documentary why he accepted the 7 years, $18 million deal, which I understand. Like I have compassion for him. So like he grew up really poor. He had a really like difficult childhood bringing. He was like, if I sign this 7-year, $18 million contract right here in 1991, I get my family out of poverty. And I
Yeah.
understand. But I was like, where was your financial advisor to slap you in the head and be like, you are not worth this. You're worth so much more.
Yeah. And weren't long contracts kind of rare back then though?
Yes, it was unheard of.
Like 7-year contracts are crazy long now. It's like I've always kind of thought they could do 3-year contracts, but wasn't like Scottie was a decent player in 1990. Like it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like he was getting there, and even the owner was like, "Don't sign the contract." The
yeah.
owner.
The owner said that, and like Jerry Krause had a rule. He's like, once you sign a contract, don't come up and don't complain about it.
Man. So yeah, it's like this is what I've always said about the whole LeBron MJ argument. Like LeBron did more with less against tougher competition. MJ did more with more against less like weaker competition. Like
Yeah.
but that's how I'll look at it, like just more individually.
Also, like I'm excited to see the next 2 episodes because this Sunday's episodes feature the Bad Boy Pistons,
Mm.
and I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, man, us as NBA fans, we undervalue and underappreciate what Isaiah Thomas did.
Yeah.
Like Isaiah Thomas beat Jordan 3 straight times. He beat Larry and Magic all in their primes.
Mm-hmm.
Michael beat all those guys past their prime.
Yeah. He was like that weird bridge between eras.
Like I don't think people realize like the Detroit Pistons are one bad call away from a three-peat, and nobody had three-peated at that current time and moment since the Celtics of Bill Russell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because was it before the back-to-back? Was it they lost in the finals the year before?
Yeah, they had a jank call where Kareem Abdul-Jabbar got a foul call on a skyhook by Bill Laimbeer, drilled 2 free throws. They lost Game 6 by 1. They ended up losing Game 7.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Because like he had uh, Bill Laimbeer, Joe Dumars. I mean, I can't like those weren't like great players or anything.
Like Isaiah Thomas was kind of like LeBron in a way. Like he did a whole lot with like a lot less talent. He had no top 50 player on his team.
Yeah, like Bill Laimbeer is just more known for his
Bulliness.
personality. Like it's just his weirdness.
Like besides, okay, they had Rodman, but Rodman was younger. He wasn't as developed as he was during his Bulls days.
Yeah. Was it who they beat in the finals? They beat the Lakers.
They beat in '88 they lost to the Lakers. '89 they beat the Lakers, and in '90 they beat.
I want to say the Blazers. I don't know.
I don't know who they beat.
I don't know. But yeah, whatever. I don't care. Let's see. Isaiah Thomas. Yeah, Isaiah Thomas is like extremely underrated. I think our generation looks at him like more because of he was such a horrible GM with the Knicks. Was he the GM or
He was
just
somewhere in the front office that did absolutely
and
horrible.
he was just horrible. And so like our I guess view on him drastically changed from like older generations. But yeah, do you have anything else on the doc?
Or it was interesting to see in his second season when he broke his foot or his leg that they had like the minutes restriction and they still made the playoffs. And like I can only be imagined like being Michael Jordan being told you only can play 7 minutes a half.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. I was man, they were saying like, oh, you have a 10% chance of having your career-ending injury,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not like really in the playoffs picture I'd be like, I'm out. Like,
Yeah.
if this dude is like, yeah, I'm gonna play.
Well, because
That's
logically,
irresponsible, man.
yeah, logically you would think you'd be like, okay, like let's just tank this season, get another top pick, and we'll be like set to go. But he was like so competitive, and he wanted to make the playoffs just to get beat by Larry Bird, like so bad. I didn't
That's just
understand
weird. that's,
that.
that's the whole thing. Like the mentality thing that people love. I just don't. I mean, you can like I don't know the killer mentality that people like to say with
Yes,
MJ and Kobe. Cool, but I'm not
yes.
gonna risk. You're not gonna risk your life, your career, like 10%. Like
Mhm.
if anything, I don't know. It's just like yeah, it's courageous, but at the same time, it's irresponsible. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just kind of weird.
Did you
Kind of
did
funny.
you listen, did you get to the part where he was like describing the cocaine story about like how when he first got to the Bulls?
I saw it on Twitter.
So like apparently they were like getting ready for like a game the night before, and he went to go like knock on his teammates' uh, hotel doors, and he couldn't find them. And then he knocked on one room, and it got like dead silent. It was like shh shh shh, and they were like, who is it? And he was like, it's Michael. And they were like, all right, he's good. Let him in, let him in. And he's like, I walked in there. There were like strippers, cocaine, like every drug. He was like, I wasn't a part of that. Like I wanted to like focus on winning. And I was like, Michael, you mean to
Yeah,
tell me? I was like, you mean to tell me you're surrounded by drugs and alcohol and women and you weren't a part of it?
and yeah, I know he like refused, but I mean, he might have. I mean, I'll give him the fact that he was just so new to the league.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give him that. But I mean, no one really knows. But you know,
But
whatever. I don't
also,
care.
I thought an interesting part was Scottie deliberately did this. Like, so right before they started the 97-98 season, the season before he had like ruptured his Achilles or something, like ruptured a tendon or something. And
Yeah,
he was like, instead of having surgery in the summer, I'm gonna screw the Bulls over since they're not paying me, and I'm gonna have surgery right before the season starts, so I miss 3 months of the season to
yeah.
like take a jab at management.
Yeah, that was interesting. Never really saw that. But I also, oh, and also, was it? Did Jerry Krause announce that it was going to be Phil Jackson's last year
Before the season started. Yeah,
before the season? I didn't know there was so much drama going into that last season.
yeah, because Jerry Krause was like, I'm breaking all y'all up no matter what.
So then that got me thinking: Did you know this was after the 72-10 greatest season of all time type of thing? Was there like a call in the NBA business world, like David Stern, Jerry Krause? David's probably like, this team has won 5 of the last 7. They probably could win the next 3. Um, it's like with you, it's like UConn women's basketball team. No one cared about that era. No one cared about women's college basketball because we all knew they were going to win, and it was yeah. So and owners dream about parity. They love parity. So that got me thinking. I was like, I don't know. But did you think anything weird?
Well, I like I was reading, and apparently Jerry Krause was upset because all the players were getting like the love and all this stuff, and nobody was crediting management or like the front office. But at the same time, like your team wins, so like everybody knows who you are.
Yeah,
But I did think it was weird. Like if I was a GM and I was an owner, I would let my guys lose their dynasty, or like something that fatal would have to happen for me to break them up. Like if it
yeah,
ain't broke, don't fix it.
yeah, for
But there
sure.
was also like, I mean, I would have liked to see Jordan play the Spurs. I think the Spurs would have demolished them, but
I mean, I don't know, but yeah, but yeah, that was so weird to me. This is a weird career MJ had, just retiring 3 times. It's
yeah.
just
Or can we talk about how he decided to make this documentary when LeBron and them were having the 2016 parade and had nothing to do with LeBron?
yeah, I saw that. I didn't know if it was true or not. I feel like someone was kind of like baiting, but no one has like no one has refuted that.
Yes.
And I had someone text me. They're like, "Oh, this is proving why MJ is the GOAT." And I'm like, I think the complete opposite. Like, I feel like if people think I'm like a MJ hater. I think MJ's great, second best player, blah blah blah, like all that mess. But yeah, it's just. But it was cool seeing like '90s culture, basketball, and everything. Um, I really would love like a documentary of like the cocaine epidemic in the
Yeah.
NBA. Because here's my thing. I like what people think of like as ugly or like a downturn or like bad. I think of it, I respect it. Like I think of it's like cool or like just see like the downfalls of people, but they like bounce back, type of thing. I don't like
Yeah.
so seeing like NBA go through that such a weird time would be just cool to see. Like since there was no social media, who knows what happened? No one knows what happened. I don't know. I just like secrets being revealed. I don't know. I don't know.
You just like the tea. You just like the gossip.
I'm
But it would be
nosy.
like I was thinking about this. I was like, if they made a documentary like the '90s Cowboys and all like the gang banging and like
Yeah.
drugs and stuff that was going on, like I would be down for that.
Mm-hmm. Because like anything nowadays is on social media. Anything is taped, videoed. So like they can't get away with really anything
Right.
nowadays. Um. Yeah. So is that all I have on the MJ doc?
Get it off your chest.
I think that's it. I mean, it's really cool.
I love the people on social media like Mikal Bridges. He was like, man, heck no, LeBron will put up 90 in this era.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that Scottie Pippen contract, I keep thinking about that. I'm just like, man, that's crazy. Um, is that it? I feel like I had a lot more conspiracies, but yeah, just I have a lot more questions. Just because it's like it's such a sensitive era of basketball. Like everybody glorifies it. '90s basketball, blah blah blah. That I don't think anyone wants to like downgrade it or anything, but that's fine, I guess.
I get so
Um,
tired of hearing about the 63-point game, which they lost. Like, if like the because I get mad because whenever we talk about like LeBron's 51-point game in the game one of the finals where JR
right.
had the complete doink, but but it's like, all right, yes, what he did was amazing. 63 points and a loss without a 3-pointer. Like, congrats. But he lost the game. Like, we don't talk about LeBron's game
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I think we will in the future, but uh, yeah, 51 points. I mean, that's more impressive than the 63 pointer. Uh, just because 51, 8-8, game one of the like. That was a year. Yeah, that was a year he didn't have Kyrie. So that was a Kevin Love second best player. But yeah, I think that's it. Um, let's see. Is that it? I'm still.
Something's bothering you. You just can't
Oh,
think
it's
about
not bothering me. I think I talked about it last weekend. Last on my episode last weekend. Uh, I'll breeze through it. It'd be no one's gonna talk about this, but it'd be really cool to just like see the real story of like why he retired the first time in
it. Mhm.
'93. You
Are you still on that?
know,
Are you still on that gambling theory?
no one's disproved it so far. So I don't know. Yeah, I talked about this way more in depth last week, but they're never going to talk about it. It's just such a thing that it's so confidential. Um, but I don't care. But yeah. Leading. I saw on Twitter yesterday. Do you see that Draymond Green interview?
I'm
um,
so, I'm so tired of him always wanting to be relevant. So tired of it.
yeah, I don't. And the part that was just, I'm so sick of. I'm not sick. That's rude. I'm just like,
Nah, you fed up. You fed up.
I'm just tired of Kevin Durant. just not in a bad way. I don't know. It's just he keeps talking, and everything he says is like wrong. That's all. That's all. Just his whole mindset is just like it's just not what everybody thinks. But did you hear what Draymond said about Kevin?
Yes, about how he should have handled the last season.
No, more about how Kevin Durant thought he could take over LeBron as being the best player in the league
After he made the shot over Kevin, after he made the shot over LeBron.
after the 2017 finals.
Right.
Who thought that? Who told you this information?
Kevin.
This is that's what I'm saying. Like, what? Like, oh my gosh, it's just
like you make one jump shot and you're supposed to be the best player on the planet.
Yeah. What told him that going to the Warriors to beat LeBron would make him automatically the greatest player? And everybody would be talking about you on First Take the next morning. Like, LeBron still averaged a triple-double in that finals.
And you were guarding him. You were responsible for guarding him.
That's the only thing. It's just I would have said Kevin Durant is the best player in the league if the Thunder would have beat the Heat in 2012. I would have definitely said that.
Or even if the Thunder would have beat the Cavs out in 2016, if they would have made not the 3-1 choke.
Oh, for sure. So, yeah, I think, he was saying after that, Draymond said that after they won the 2017 finals, and especially after 2018, and Kevin wasn't really getting any love, he felt away.
What did you expect? What did you expect going to a team that had already been established and already won a championship?
That's what I'm saying.
I'd already been to 2 championship appearances. How do you get that?
I don't know. I don't know. I was like, did that whole era? That was just basically KD's ego coming through. Just that whole stint with the Warriors. I'm a KD fan. He went to the UT. I like the dude, but I don't know. It's just frustrating. It's just frustrating because he's such a great player. He's a top 25 greatest player of all time, but he could have been a top 10. He could have been elite. I just wanted the best for him. That's all. That's why I'm.
You sound like a dad. You sound like a dad right now.
Yes. That's why I'm frustrated. It's nothing hatred or meanness. It's just he could have done so much better. A championship with the Thunder would have been way more than any championship with the Warriors.
Right.
That's why the Dirk's 2011 championship means so much more than a normal thing, just because of the route it took. It's just no one cares about the rings. It's just how you got them. It's just the main thing nowadays.
Right.
Yeah, I saw the interview. I was just cringing. I was like, Kevin, this is really what you thought? Yeah, I was looking at it. I was feeling bad for him, but yeah, I don't know. But
you see that Ty Lue is possibly in the running for being the Nets' next head coach?
Is he really?
Yes.
He's with the Clippers, right?
Yeah, he's the assistant coach of the Clippers right now.
It's so weird. Go for it, I guess. I mean,
I would not want to coach that emotional team. You got Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Oh my goodness.
That's a toxic team right there. Toxic, yeah. I would say emotional. No, everybody hates the word toxic now, but yeah, emotional. Kyrie, you can have emotional people, but when your best 2 players are both emotional,
that's the definition of the feelers room.
Right. Yeah. You can have a toxic person on your team, But you have to balance that out with like a genuine person. Like, yeah, I don't.
And
Like,
DeAndre Jordan's not going to help that locker room either.
mm, yeah, that's true. I forgot about him. But the Nets. Yeah, I've still like KD going to the Nets is just so weird to me. Yeah, I just feel I don't know. Just frustrating. It's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. But yeah, you got anything?
I just wish that whole group, the trio of Harden, Westbrook, and Durant, would have won at least one championship because they were so young. Even when they lost to Miami in the finals, I was like, if y'all would have stayed together one more year, y'all maybe could have got that right and won a chip.
Yeah, they're babies. They would have been the Warriors. Like they were kind of like Warriors before them, just having everybody originally drafted and everything. But yeah, I don't know. What else? I was gonna. I don't know why I have this written down, but this is like a complete 180. You know the trend? What is it? I hate this trend of, okay, so weddings, right? Weddings.
Yes.
The whole trend of the groom crying.
Yes. Oh boy, you got me.
Why is that
fired.
that's such a stupid trend?
Yes, because like I am not emotional, so I'll just be cheesing. I'll be smiling, like I'll be happy. But like this whole like you gotta cry when your bride comes down the aisle and like just like give this like sobbing speech. I'm just like, why are we being so phony?
The fact that it's like now out in the public just makes it cheesy now. It's almost
Mhm.
like I don't want to cry now. Just because everyone's gonna be looking at me, like looking at the person, the groom, just because everybody's like highlighted that. I never thought of that before, I don't know, college. Like I've never, yeah. So I remember people always ask, I don't know why people ask me this in college, like, are you gonna cry when your bride comes down? I was like, probably not, just because it'll be the 1,000th time I've seen this person. So yeah,
Literally.
it's just like, and I don't want, like, I've been to actually weddings and I've seen people actually like look back at the groom. I was just like, just stop. It's just cringy. I was like, I'm not gonna cry. It's normal. It's don't even talk about it. Like, why are we even talking about this in the first
I feel
place?
like it's not normal to cry. Like it's just like so forced. It's embedded in our brain. Like we have to like cry. We have to force ourselves. But like I'm not doing that. I'm gonna be like smiling my butt off. Like I'm gonna be like, hey, like I get to like spend the rest of my life with this person.
Yeah, and I think I thought of this because I saw like uh, someone on Facebook, some friend posting the wedding video, and uh, what was it? She or like the person had a video of the groom or the bride walking down, and then like she went back to the groom, and the groom was like crying like intensely. I was like, wow. Yeah, I was like, man, this man's like crying. And so, and everybody was like, oh, the groom's crying. I was just like, oh, no, don't talk about this. I don't know. It's just one of the things that's like, I feel like shouldn't be talked about. But now it's like out in the open. And it's like, oh, if your groom doesn't cry, does he really love you? Type of thing.
I'm like, man, what the bride gonna do? She gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back in there. He gonna cry again. Tape 2. Like no.
My mindset's like, I've seen this person. Hopefully, I've seen this person a lot. So it's like, yeah, it's just another day.
He said it's just
It's
another
just,
dollar.
it really is. So people, I don't know, people need a
They need to laugh.
frustrating.
We
But
know we gotta talk about the draft, like what you thought of like the whole virtual setup, how it went, and then your thoughts on
it
the
was
most
kind of
surprise.
entertaining.
It
It's kind of
was.
funny.
Bro,
Uh,
Roger Goodell had me dying when he was interacting with fans.
yeah,
Like what was your most surprise pick? What was your pick that you didn't think was gonna
Well,
work out? And what's your thoughts on the Cowboys pick, of course?
I don't have really much details, but I thought everyone told me the Redskins were gonna get Tua. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't believe. I always knew he was gonna go to
That
Miami.
was like a month's focus. I felt like, and so the Redskins were like, no, we're not gonna do it. Miami getting Tua, I think it's like really good pickup because you have a great. I feel like Miami's got a great surrounding.
Yeah.
Pretty good, not great, but like pretty good surrounding, and it's just like throw a good quarterback in there, and I feel like it'll mesh well.
So they have 5 picks, 5 first-round picks this draft and next draft, and I'm like, and they spent the most money this year in free agency. They got Byron Jones from the Cowboys and like other good solid pickups. So like they're like maybe like 2 or 3 years away from like doing something.
Yeah, that's true. It's one of those like, oh, Tua being there is probably like a blessing in disguise type of thing, just because they're way better than like Cincinnati. Like that's the thing. Like with Joe Burrow going there, great player, but it's just like could be like an Andy Dalton situation.
Honestly,
And Cincinnati's isn't a great organization.
at all.
The definition of average, and the I had never heard of the Oregon quarterback before the whole draft talks and stuff. Was he that great in college? I mean, I'm assuming.
No, he underachieved in my opinion, but
Is he the typical Pac-12 throwing quarterback that everybody
he's
falls
just
in love with?
yes, he's just your typical 6'5", 6'6" quarterback that can throw, but he's very streaky. Like, they just fall in love with the Pac-12.
Your typical 6'6" white quarterback that
Yeah,
everybody loves.
you said that, not me.
Yeah, no, I need to say that. But
Yes.
I thought the Cowboys were not gonna really pick a skilled position. I was kind of surprised on that.
I thought we were going to go defense. I thought we were going to go either safety or like a pass rusher. But the one positive I will say is our offense just became even stronger, and no safeties got taken in the first round. So we still have plenty of options.
Yeah, and like we did need a receiver last year. Like we were like really missing that. We were really missing Cole Beasley, I thought, last year. But
it fills the slot of Randall Cobb, so it's an upgrade.
Yeah. Three. We have three really, really good receivers now. I feel like.
I have no idea what the Giants were doing. The Giants drafted some offensive tackle that everybody was like, who?
I thought it was kind of interesting that, last year at this time, the Giants were like, oh, no, we got Daniel Jones. Tank for Tua now. Mm-hmm. And now this year, the fact that they passed on Tua shows like Daniel Jones really achieved. Yes, he did.
I'm trying to figure out who's going to stop Kansas City now. They had me surprised when they took Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the running back for LSU that was killing everybody. I'm like, how are you going to stop that offense now?
Is he one of those speedsters?
He's like a Darren Sproles, but he's like much stronger and faster.
That's perfect for Kansas City. They thrive off those.
Yeah.
Are they a running back or receiver type of position players?
Exactly.
Grand Prairie's own got drafted. Jeff Okudah.
I was about to say that. I had never heard of him until the Lions selected him and you brought him up.
I knew he in high he went to the middle school like 2 minutes from me. And what is it? I knew he was a great athlete and everything. He was playing football, playing basketball. But then because he was 2 years younger than me. And I think a year into in college, he was like the number one recruit. 2017 class. And I was like, what? I was like, this dude? I was like, wow. And so his height is just what like took him above anything. Um, but and he also was one of those guys that like left his second semester of senior year
Mm-hmm.
to go like get a head start of training, which is
Mm-hmm.
shows how committed people are. And yeah, I knew he was great at playing at Ohio State, and then I saw his name a lot in the like playoffs this past year,
Mm-hmm.
making a lot of plays. And then I didn't realize he was gonna be like a top 5 draft pick though. So
Too bad he's going to Detroit though.
yeah, guess we'll stay in that Midwest area. Um, Also, shout out to let's see, Prime Preps, James Prochet, receiver. He'll probably be like they say like 5th to 7th round pick.
Uh-huh.
He's one of those like slot receiver kick returners.
There were a lot of people like that got drafted last night. They were having like the little hosting event in Texas. Like I saw like Waxahachie, I saw Missouri City, the Woodlands, like Houston. I was
Mm-hmm.
just there's just so many athletes in Texas getting drafted. 15 players in the SEC got drafted in the first.
Yeah, that's why the SEC is what it is. I mean, I never disrespect the SEC. I don't get that hate. But what is it? What was I gonna mention? Oh, my favorite. I saw a tweet. Kind of funny. It was like, I'd be cleaning the house for like 5 hours if my mom knew we are gonna be on national TV, like our living room,
Yeah.
national TV.
Bro,
Yeah, it's really cool.
Did you see Cliff's house?
Who?
Cliff, the coach of the Cardinals.
Oh yeah, I did. That was
And
a nice
then
pick.
Jerry flexing in his $250 million yacht.
Yeah, I was like, good for y'all. Yeah, it was really cool to see like these big time athletes in just normal everyday living rooms. So yeah, it was just really. Uh, let's see. Were they? I didn't see Joe Burrow's. Someone told me like Joe Burrow was like just a very normal living room. Like it was kind of cool, and it was just like him and his parents, right?
Yeah, it was just those 3 people, like him and his 2 parents.
That's
For the most
crazy.
part, all the players were like, your average Joe, like you and I's living rooms. Like there
Yeah,
wasn't like fancy about it.
that's really cool. I run out of time. All right, song of the week. Shoutouts. Go.
Um, shout out to the first responders, of course. Thank you for your service during this time. Shout out to the grocery workers, people that are working overtime and not spending as much time with their families or having to quarantine away from the kids when they get home.
Shout out to the NFL picks.
Oh yeah, shout out to first round picks. Shout out to everybody getting drafted. Congrats on your next phase in your life. Go ahead with your song of the week. I need to think.
Song of the week. Westside Gunn. I don't know how to say this song title. George Bondo. Westside Gunn featuring Conway the Machine, Benny the Butcher, the Griselda crew. This is my like new people. Like this is like a professional. It's like a professional, mature Migos because they're the trio. Yeah, group of three. They make great solo albums. It's the new wave, New York. I'm really excited about this crew. What's yours?
I have to go listen to it. My shout out just came like right before this podcast. I don't remember the name of the song, but Travis West and Kids Cudi's new song. It was pretty nice.
Travis Scott.
Yes.
Yeah. That was interesting. Dropping it on Fortnite.
Yes.
That was kind of interesting. And the music video was like weird. It was creative. I'll give them that. It was creative.
Yeah, I think it would have been better if they didn't drop it on Fortnite, but it was an interesting like idea.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Well, that was a fast 40 minutes. Had a lot of NBA talk to get off my chest, but yeah. All right. Well, have a good one.
All right, you too. Stay safe.
Peace.